to Club Fuck It Bucket, where we all come together and talk about moments in our lives when we wanted to do something and just felt like too risky, and the universe was telling us no, and the people around us were telling us no, and then we were just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm doing it anyway. Let's just see what happens. But today it's just me. And so I just get to ramble at you and tell you ridiculous stories until I snort laugh at myself, by myself. So please don't make me be too lonely on here. Drop a comment. Let me know that you're here. Ask questions. Tell your stories too, because otherwise it's just an echo chamber. And I'm over here thinking I'm the funniest person in the world. And y'all are like, who the fuck does she think she is? Like, whatever. It's totally fine. Hey, Thomas, look at you. And I expect Justin Searle to be here as well because he said he was setting a timer. So, Justin, when you show up, I want to see you in those comments so that I know that you're here. So today I thought I would talk about two things. The first is just I've been a little bit absent the last couple of months, and I wanted to talk about that because I have been doing so oh my God, y'all, my Fuck It bucket is so full. It's just full. And sometimes it's a really good thing, and sometimes it's a little bit of a harder thing. But for me, it got to the point where it was overflowing. I ask my students every week, for those of you who don't know, I teach product innovation and entrepreneurship, business principles, how to get a job, all kinds of things at VCU Da Vinci Center. And one of the things that I do every week is I ask my students, are you green light, yellow light, or red light right now? And it's not just with school, right? It's everything, because it's work and school and life and all the stuff that you have to deal with. So I was asking my students that the other day, and I realized that I wasn't even like red light. I wasn't even at the stoplight. I was like, road closed, bridge is out. I am done. And a lot of things happened to kind of like come together. And then I started to realize how many times in the last 18 months that life has just thrown some crazy things at me. And I've had to be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to like plow through it and do it. So for those of you who don't know, about 18 months ago, almost exactly 18 months ago, actually, my life and business partner and I decided to break up. So we had been together for 10 years. We were planning our lives together. It was a big change. That's always a big change, right? But in the middle of all of this, we had been working for about 9 years of our relationship to buy his parents' property and try to do something with it, sell it, buy it, like whatever it was, and help them. So we decided to move up there, buy the property. In the interim, we had to get a squatter off of the property to the tune of, almost $100,000 of doing that and tons of legal stuff and whatever. And then we finally got it. We broke up. The kids and I moved. We moved from August 2020 to August 2021. We moved 5 times, which is insane, right? Like, why do you do that? How do you do that? I don't know. We did it though. In the middle of that, I know it's been 18 months, which is kind of crazy. In the middle of all of that, I lost my job unexpectedly, and the founders had promised me equity. I worked for them for equity for 18 months, and they refused to give me that. I ended up working for another company where the CEO made a lot of promises and definitely did not deliver on them. And then I found a job at Duckbill Group, which is amazing. Like, I love my job, but think about that, 3 jobs in like 3 months while I was moving. At the same time, I ruptured my Achilles tendon, my posterior talofibular ligament. I ended up having 2 surgeries on that. I spent almost 6 months in a cast or a boot on a scooter, or as Mike Sliper calls it, my snot rocket, because if y'all don't know this story, I was just fucking around on the beach with my kids, and like, all of a sudden, boing, my foot just implodes and nothing is working. And I end up in the ER, and it's the 4th of July. 5th, I guess it's the 5th. So it's like, anyway, people are still crazy and like drunk from 4th of July, right? So I'm sitting in the ER forever, and then we're all still like masked up and all the things. And I'm in this wheelchair, and they can't give me any pain pills. I'm just sitting there, and I'm like 3 hours in, and I was great. I was good. I had it all under control. And then all of a sudden, no more under control. And I started crying, and I was like, ugly crying, but behind my mask. And so I'm like snotty and so I send my girls a text message and I was like, y'all, you need to say something to make me laugh because like I'm starting to cry and I'm in a lot of pain right now and I don't think I can, and I'm like super alone and everything. And so Amy Wills sends me a note. She's like, you want me to call them and tell them that you're Jennifer Lopez's stunt double, like ass stump double? And like, you need to take care of her ass. And I started laughing so hard, but also I was crying. And remember, I'm ugly crying, so like my nose is running. And I snort when I laugh, but I also snort when I cry. And I snorted and I choked on my snot and I tooted in the middle of I tooted right in the middle of the ER. It was horrible. Anyway, not the first time I've told that story, but every time I laugh until I cry because it's hilarious. Then in August, I had an unanticipated abdominal surgery. So all of this back to this, like life is still okay. Like I was okay, right? I was handling all the stuff. In August, I had an unexpected abdominal surgery. So like I went in to see my doctor on a Wednesday. I had my post-op on a Friday, and then I had my surgery on a Tuesday, just like that. And I wasn't really anticipating it. I wasn't expecting it. And at the same time, one of my doctors put me on a new medication for my cholesterol because I have a type of cholesterol that doesn't respond to statins. So it's a new medication. In addition to doing the cholesterol thing, it makes you like lose your hunger mechanism. And I didn't really realize because I was recovering from abdominal surgery and like all the stuff. And I didn't really realize that all of a sudden I was just losing weight and I was like literally starving. So I lost 26 pounds in 2 months before the haters get on and say, that's not healthy and give me like medical advice. I have a great medical team. They're taking care of me. Everything is great. But here's what happened is all of it, like the surgery and the hunger and all the stuff came together and I stopped functioning, y'all. I was like, the only thing I'm doing is just surviving right now. That's where I'm at. And so I took a deep breath. I went to Europe. I did like fed my soul in the waves. I did a lot of thinking and came back and started to kind of revamp how I'm looking at life, which is great and super fun. But the reason I'm telling you this is sometimes it's amazing to just be able to go through life and like throw things in your fuck it bucket and be like, you know what? Fuck it. I can handle that. And fuck it. I can handle that. But sometimes all of those things come together and your bucket just overflows. And if you're like me, sometimes you don't realize it until you're like drowning. And so then I go get in the ocean and then I stop drowning, which is kind of weird. Anyway, so that's the story of where I've been for the last couple of months. Hopefully you all will see a resurgence in the April freaking Palmer, who we all know and enjoy, because I was able to deal with some of that shit that maybe I just hadn't been dealing with before. So that's the serious part of today. But then here's the funny part of today, because so much fun stuff happened during the last 18 months, right? One of the things that happened is I decided I am not dating. Like, that's not a thing that I'm doing. I'm not looking for a new relationship. I love solo travel. I love being by myself. I love taking myself out to dinner. Like, the ocean does soothe your soul. Like, that's my thing. I've got a little tattoo of a mermaid and I just love it. Anyway, I love hanging out with myself. I'm really fucking cool, y'all. Like, I'm smart. I'm a great conversationalist as long as I'm the only one who's talking at me, which you know that I love because I just get on here and ramble. And I just don't like, that's not the thing that's fulfilling for me right now, is like working towards a relationship. I want to work towards relationships with my friends and my LinkedIn community and my students and my work colleagues and my clients and all those things. Like, that's where I want my energy to be. And that's great for me. No, I cannot repeat the story. You'll just have to watch it again. And so anyway, so I went out to like a networking dinner with a person who runs in my like professional sphere of influence or whatever it is. And like, first glass of wine, we're talking about work and stuff. Second glass of wine, we start talking about like are you from Richmond? Are you going to live here forever? Like, what are you doing? And it turns out like he is like single and looking for a relationship. And then we start talking about like I'm single, but I'm like happily single and not looking for a relationship. And he was like, what is it? And I was like, well, first of all, I love being by myself and all of that. But like tactically, here's the deal. As a woman, when you start dating, and I don't know if this is true for men because I'm not a man, when you start dating, what you end up with is this like kind of group of humans, in my case, men, who will every single morning send you a text message that says, "Good morning, beautiful." And then every single evening, they'll send you one that says, "Sweet dreams, gorgeous." Good morning, beautiful. Sweet dreams, gorgeous. And it just happens every single day for like fucking ever. No, if you're gonna have an interaction with me, have something like send me a dad joke or an inappropriate meme or an appropriate meme or a picture of your puppy, or I just said mean instead of meme because I got all excited, or like an interesting article or a divisive viewpoint or literally anything that inspires conversation. But do not copy and paste "Good morning, beautiful" to me and 17 other women. Sorry. Don't do it. So we're talking about this. We laugh about it. It's hilarious. I tell a ton of people about this. It's a thing about conversation, right? So it's great. Like we have our thing. We hug again, professional. Like this is not a dating thing, right? So go our separate ways. I don't really think anything about it till the next morning when I get a text message and it says, can you guess? Can anybody guess what the text message said in the morning? Good morning, beautiful. So I was like, oh my God, he's hilarious. I was like, that is fucking hilarious. I'm like, ha 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 ha. And he writes back, question, question, question. What's so funny? So now all my friends and I refer to him as the good morning, beautiful guy. And every time I see him out in the wild, because it's like small town, right? So I see him out in the wild and he'll see me and he'll like give me a hug. Like, again, professional hugs. This is not like I've not given this man an indication that there's more than any type of professionalism, right? Professional hugs. And every time he sees me out in the wild, he gives me a hug and he goes, oh, hey, beautiful. So, y'all, that is why for the foreseeable future, like reason number 16. Why for the foreseeable future? It's just me, myself, and I. My Club Fuck It Bucket live stream. Oh, I just like, what just happened? My Club Fuck It Bucket live stream. My amazing producer, Chris Hennessy, who is absolutely fantastic. He was clueless. Like the fact that he's clueless was the funniest part. And also like having fun and getting to know my LinkedIn connections and posting ridiculous stories and all that. That's where you can find me. But please, whatever you do, don't send me a good morning, beautiful text. Send me something interesting that's fun that we can talk about. And don't try to date me because that's off the table too. That's it. That's all I have for Club Fuck It Bucket today. It was kind of like a roller coaster of a moment, but Chris and I signed on to Restream and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. He's like, we're going live in 30 seconds. So here I am. That's why I came up with. Y'all, thank you so much for coming. Thanks for laughing with me and for being here. If you want to be a guest on Club, yes, please do make a note. Do not send it. If you want to be a guest on Club Fuck It Bucket, shoot me a note. We have just opened the calendar for the rest of the quarter. Now that I'm back from Europe. And so we are looking for guests. We want to hear your story. It's so much more entertaining for me to ask you fun questions about what you do than for me to like sit here and riff on weird ass stories of things that happen in my life. And we will be back on Friday. Our new time, by the way, is 1:30 Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays and Fridays. And on Friday, we have Squire Pettis, who is one of my I say this every single time, but like everybody on here is a favorite human, but Squire's like, oh my God, what a good human. Y'all are going to absolutely love hearing his story. And I can't wait to see you on Friday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now go fill up your Fuck It buckets with good things and dump out the bad things and have an amazing rest of the week.